This presentation is to teach others how to use Excel and create a pivot table from that information that's inputted into Excel. So the first thing you want to do is create an Excel file, and in the cell A1 type in any information, and in this case we're going to use names, date of births, ages, that type of information, just simple. So firstly we're going to type in cell A1 and we're going to put name. Secondly, in cell B1 we're going to put telephone, and in C1 we're going to put date of birth, and in D1 we're going to put age. And from here we're going to input all of the data that we want to put into the pivot table. So we put in a name, a telephone number, a date of birth, and then an age. From there you can put multiple so that you can look at the information with more than one person. So hopefully as you're watching this presentation it will help you learn, and you can create your own pivot table so you could follow along and do your own Excel spreadsheet as we go. Now that all the data has been inputted, we want to make sure that the ages look the same. Sometimes with Excel it thinks that there's numbers, so it'll add the extra zeros. Typically if you keep them as general, nothing will show up in an out of the ordinary manner. So you want to select the information that you're using in your pivot table, and then go to the tab Insert and select Pivot Table. From there you're going to select just the columns that you want to use to create the pivot table. So you just want to select columns A, B, C, and D in this case. And from here you're going to go and tell Excel what you want to see. So for this we're going to see we want to see the names of the people that you had on your list, and then we're going to see how many of those people had the same name. From there you can do their ages, so you drag them down into the column label and the values, and you can see that from the information that we inputted there is 2 people named Danielle when they're the same age. There's 1 person that's name is Jen, and there's just 1 person that is 58 years old. And from there you can mess around with it, take out information, add information. You can do different layouts that I am showing you up on the screen. There's many different ways that you can portray small pieces of information and large pieces of information, and the pivot table is a great way, an easy way to show all of this information without stressing yourself out as to having to do this manually. So after you've gone through all the different ways to portray the information, you can also go and change the colors and some of the layout of how you want to show everybody the information in the end. I personally like to have my information in pivot tables to look more colorful. I don't like the boring, just black and white. You want to make it stand out, in my opinion. But Excel definitely provides you with many pieces of different technology that you can use as far as, layouts and the subtotals and showing the totals in a different manner. So after you've reviewed the information, you may need to add more information. So as I'm showing you here, if you go and you add more names and all of the data that goes with it, the telephone number, date of birth, age, you can add as much information as you need to these columns, and as you add to them, you are also able to update your pivot table. So as I show you here, we're adding 2 more names, the Karen and Henry, with their phone numbers, date of birth, and ages. And then we will go back to the pivot table after we've inputted that. And if you go up to the top of your pivot table and right click on it, you can select refresh, and it will refresh the information and show you the names that you've added. You can also rename the tabs by double clicking on the tab below, and when you rename it, it's easier to find information, especially if you have many different tabs within the spreadsheet. So with any project you're doing, you want to make sure that you save all of the Excel files so that you don't lose it. No one likes to lose information after they've spent hours or even just a few minutes creating stuff. You can also change what you want to see within the pivot table using the drop-down menus. So if you go to the drop-down menu, you'll see it'll show you all the different names. So if there's all those names there, usually get rid of the blanks. You don't want to see any blank rows. You can get rid of people that you don't want to see, so you can get rid of Danielle, and it will just show Jen, Karen, Henry, or whoever names you have provided. I hope this was helpful with teaching you how to create a pivot table, and if you have any questions, feel free to email me.